you know, no bad faith was meant there, no. Ang punto ko lang na yun ang poder ng PAGCOR, no, na may kapangyarihang magbigay o hindi ng lisensya, at sa desisyong hindi magbigay halimbawa ng bago ay nakikinabang yung mga nandyan na, di ba? So it's a regulatory barrier to entry, kumbaga. Hindi ko sinasabing dapat pagbigay kayo. Ako nga ang position ko dapat absolute ban, no? Ngayon, magkano po yung revenue, yung kita ng gobyerno mula sa pag-regulate ninyo ng online gaming?
Kung ang tinutukoy lang po natin ay online gaming, sa taong ito po ay siguro po makapagre-remit ang PAGCOR sa gobyerno for 2025 tulad po nung binanggit namin kanina ng himigit kumulang sa 50 bilyong piso. For online gaming alone.
50 billion, parang hindi yung nakita ko, something like 47 billion. Okay.
Renound up ko na lang po. At Congressman, hindi pa po kasama dyan yung dividendo na pagdating po kasi sa bottom line, sa net income, ang batas po ay dapat po mag-remit kami ng 50% muli sa net profit namin. Pero ito pong nakarang 3 taon, ang riniremit po namin ay 75% of our net income. Kaya kung pagsasamahin nyo po yun at yung license fees na aming nakukulikta sa online gaming, meron po sigurong aabutin ng mahigit 60, kulang 70 bilyong piso po ang contribution ng online gaming sa taong 2025.
Okay, so 50...
Hindi pa po kasama, sir, sorry. Dadagdag ko lang, kung mamarapati nyo, hindi pa po kasama yung 5% franchise tax na riniremit sa BIR ng mga nasabing licenses na yun.
So, malaki po ang annual na kinikita ng gobyerno dito. Di hamak na mas malaki ang ng mga kumpanya. Yung DG Plus, noong 2021, 2.81 billion ang revenue. Nung 2024, 75.2 billion ang naging revenue. So, ganun kalaki at bilis ang paglobo nito. So, ang punto ko po, may malalaking, ang mga pinakamalalaking bilyonaryo ang may control sa industriyang ito at sila ang nakikinabang, no? At interest nila na hindi mapagbawal ito, no? Ngayon, ang social cost ay yun na nga, yung binabanggit natin, no, na milyon-milyon mga Pilipino ang nalululong at ang sinasabi ng PAGCOR i-rehabigyan na lang natin ng rehab ang mga to. Yun po ang ayaw natin. Ang punto po, Madam Chair, to wind up is hindi po para sa amin hindi katanggap-tanggap na justification yung 70 billion na kinikita ng gobyerno. Sa halip na online gambling ang pagkakitaan ng gobyerno, pwede naman direktang buwisan na lang ang mga bilyonaryo. Yan nga ang proposal namin, billionaires tax, no, which can earn the government up to 300 billion annually, no? So kaya po tuloy po ang advocacy natin at kaisa natin yung mga ibang kasamahan natin dito for a total ban, no? Essentially ang pinagbabawal lang dito ay na pagkakitaan ng mga bilyonaryo ang pagkakalulong, no, sa online gambling ng mga ordinaryong Pilipino. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Representative Pino. Before we move to the next interpellators, from a revenue standpoint, gusto ko lang po siguro i-highlight yung binanggit po ni Chairman Tenco that the PAGCOR in recent years has actually been remitting more than what's required of PAGCOR as per the dividends law. So, base po sa batas, ang requirement lang po ay 50% po ng kanilang dividends ay i-remit sa national government. Pero nitong mga nakalaang taon, as you can see, based on the increasing share or increasing contribution to the national government, humihigit pa po sila doon. Binibigay po nila yung 75% nung kanilang dividends, yun i-limit po nila sa national government. The second thing po, on top of that, nagbibigay pa po ng additional bukod pa dito ng mga tulong sa pamamagitan ng classrooms, sa pamamagitan ng patient transport vehicles, assistance to indigent patients, yung PAGCOR. So, meron po siguro mga intangibles pa na bukod po sa mga binanggit nila kanina doon sa contribution to national government, meron pa po silang ibang ibinibigay as a supplement to government programs.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead po, Representative
this is also to
Hernandez.
add, no? I think it's very clear that PAGCOR is not in a business of school building and ambulances. That your responsibility is to generate funds for the government and do your share in augmenting DepEd and PCSO. And you don't directly give school buildings or ambulances to anybody who will come to your office and ask for a school building ambulances. Am I right?
Opo. Tama po kayo.
So you're giving it to the right agency that is tasked to deliver these services.
Opo. Ginagawa po namin. In fact, binanggit ko po kanina, wala nga kaming engineering group. Hinahayaan po namin ng DPWH ang makatulong.
That's why I understand, you know, you don't want to belabor PAGCOR into dealing with giving school buildings and ambulances. So I understand.
We'll have to, maybe one more point. Medyo tinitignan ako ng mga kasama natin na bakit daw nagbibigay ako ng time. But
Kine-clear ko lang ngayon
last point
kasi
po.
hindi naman yun talaga ang core responsibility ng PAGCOR.
Thank you. Siguro po it's very important lang po, Chair Tenko, later when you provide the documents to DSM, siguro naka-specify lang doon that the responsibility really of determining, identifying lies with the agency concerned. So, PCSO, DepEd, DOH. Yun lang naman po. We'll move to our next interpellator from the majority, Representative Jerbil Luistro.
Good afternoon, everyone. Madam Chair, of course, to our distinguished colleagues and our resource speakers. To Chairman Altenco, pardon me, but this representation wishes to go back to PD 1869. Chairman, we understand that this is the charter of the PAGCOR. And then after PD 1869, RA 9487 was passed, technically extending the franchise of PAGCOR to another 25 years, extendable for another 25 years. And it is also in RA 9487 where we saw for the first time the power of PAGCOR to authorize, to license, and to regulate. I understand that this was raised earlier, dating operator, but now, at the same time, regulator. I wish to ask, Madam Chair, what are the forms and extent of regulation that PAGCOR undertake in addressing this mandate?
Chairperson Swansing, I would like to. Ma'am, Congresswoman Luistro, you're referring to?
This is RA 9487 po. The law which extended the franchise of PAGCOR to another 25 years, extendable for another 25 years, where we saw for the first time the power of PAGCOR to authorize, to license, to regulate, as distinguished from the power given by PD 1869, which is only to establish and to operate. May we know, Madam Chair, Chairman Altenco, the extent and forms of regulation that PAGCOR undertakes in addressing this mandate?
Well, Madam Chair, Congressman Luistro, from the time that the amended law was passed extending the franchise of PAGCOR, we have because of the mandate to regulate, revisited the structures and all the guidelines and regulations. And I can say, for one, that because of what is going on now, we continue to update all these structures and guidelines, and that's why we, most especially with regard to the aspect of operations na, as I said, paniniwala po namin, hindi na po napapanahon sa pangkasalukuyan, we had already made recommendations or we had already manifested our position with the GCG. Now, dito naman po sa online gaming, nakita naman po natin na growth has become exponential. Hindi na po makontrol dahil sa lumalago itong hanap buhay na to sa hindi lamang dito kundi sa buong mundo. We revisit on a regular basis yung pong lahat ng mga guidelines, mga regulations, nang sa ganun po, we can cope with the exponential growth na tinutukoy natin. So, yun po ang kasagutan ko sa inyong katanungan.
Thank you for the generous answer of PAGCOR, no? But I want to go back to the power to regulate, to be very specific, Madam Chair. Kapag po ba may violation ng terms ng license, does PAGCOR issue an order of suspension?
Congresswoman, Chairperson Swansing, I'd like to answer. Yes, definitely. Part of our power is the power to suspend and to one or two extent to cancel the license of any licensee who does not comply with the requirements when they were given a license.
Madam Chair, I wish to ask as well, kapag po ba repeated yung violations, do you go to the extent of ordering the closure of the establishment?
Chairperson, Congresswoman Luistro, yes. In fact, there have been instances that after numerous violations, we had closed. And not only closed, but we have canceled the license of whoever had violated the terms and conditions of the license that was given to them.
Now, may we ask, Madam Chair, ano po kayang pagkakaiba nitong online gaming facility who has repeatedly violated the term of the license, which solicited the order of closure by PAGCOR from another online gaming facility which from the very start did not secure any license in operating the same? I am raising this question because earlier I heard PAGCOR said, hindi po namin yan under or within our jurisdiction because they are not licensed gaming facilities. Now, with the answer of PAGCOR providing for a situation where there is an online gaming facility who committed repeated violation, mag-o-order sila ng closure. Ano po bang pagkakaiba nito sa isang online gaming facility which is not licensed from the very start? Is this not a situation which calls as well for the exercise of PAGCOR's power to regulate by issuing the necessary closure order? Because, Madam Chair, I am apprehensive that we're applying the stringent policies and rules to licensed online gaming facilities, but we are leaving those unlicensed at loose. So may we be enlightened, PAGCOR?
Madam Chairperson, Congressman Luistro, ang pagkakaiba po talaga ay ang amin lang nasasakop